Okay, you're going to notice that I'm no longer in Spark AR. Instead, I opened up Blender because we are going to need to prep a model to use. Now, if you'll remember from our Blender day, we used a Tyrannosaurus Rex model, but I want to show you how to prep it for Spark AR. Because remember, we did install our Spark AR toolkit, and if you don't remember that, you'll have to refer back to those things. But so I'm going to get rid of this default cube. I'm going to go to File, Import, and grab an FBX file, and I put it on my desktop. It is T-Rex by Joel 3D. Here's our FBX. There we go. And there it is once again, really small. Now this is something that I didn't realize happened in class, is that I didn't realize this model is actually made of a bunch of different pieces. It's actually a group of models instead of one mesh. Now that's going to be a problem for exporting in Spark AR, because you would have to export each little piece of these separate and try to put them back together in Spark AR. Totally terrible. So what I did is, I opened up right here to see my text group, and I'm just going to shift click all of the parts right here. So I have all these parts right here, right? It's saying I can't do anything with all these parts. So we go up to Object and say join, right? And that's going to go ahead and put ours here. I'm just going to go ahead and rename this. Instead of claws, I'm going to just call it T-Rex, right? And now I have this nice single mesh that I can just grab, and why don't I just make larger, right? So I'll go ahead and, whoops, why don't you want to go larger here? I'm so zoomed out. Let's go there and try to make it larger. There we are. Right, so there's my T-Rex, and again, we could have played with real-world scale. Now there was some limitations about how big your height can be, right? So we can always make it a little bigger in there, right? So this is saying the height's too much. I'm going to go ahead and watch that, and just, you know, it's only going to let you do so much. Did I mess up my model? That's fine. And if we want to see it rendered, right, we'll go ahead and go into rendering mode over here, and we'll actually see that it has all the textures and everything worked out for us on the join. What do we need to do here? Well, we need to, remember, go ahead and reduce all the things that have to be reduced to go into Spark AR. So we have 85,000 triangles, right? And that's too many, right? If we click here, it'll bring us to the documentation and the technical guidelines and tell us, like, what do we have to have, right? The number of objects, triangle count should be below 150. Let's see. Height should be a total of 5 meters, right? So again, we learned how to deal with world scale if we want to. We'll just do this here. So I'm going to make sure I have my T-Rex selected. Right, I'm going to reduce, let's just go 50%. I'll apply it. And it's still too big. So let's apply it a second time. Oops. Hey. Now, let's reduce it, right? Let's apply. There, I got a checkbox here. 21K. Still looks good to me. Looks fine. You know, got ourselves a T-Rex looking good. We should clean up the mesh. You know, our height is still a little big. If we wanted to, we could, you know, bring it down so that it clicks there, and we can always make it bigger in, this is just an impractical object because Spark AR isn't made for showing dinosaurs, I guess, right? But other than that, right, everything's fine. We want to go to export mesh. And export mesh, you know, you want to find where you want to put it. I'm going to put it on my desktop down here. We'll type in a name. So T-Rex right there. Export it. There you go. Press it. There we go. Okay. There it went, and here it is on our desktop. And notice, right, everything is built into the GLTF, right? So it's got all the textures and everything right inside that file. We can check it, right? It's 1.6 megabytes. That's great for our file size. And we're going to go ahead and need that to import it into Spark AR.